welcome, gentlemen. We appreciate you joining us for an interview that we don't plan on taking forever, because the modern Homo sapien doesn't have that much patience to listen. So we do appreciate it. And this is part of our Capital Talk year-end video series, and we're calling it the Big Three. And the fact of the matter is, we're not prepared. We don't prepare like a lot of journalists. And so we kind of know the market well enough that we're going to bob around here. And so it's the year in perspective. And so we'll start right there. Give us some perspective on what has to be one of the zaniest, forget one of, has to be the zaniest year any of us have ever heard of or dreamed of. Tell us, if you would, your take on the year 2020. Any one of you guys. All right, Bob.
So for me, it's been definitely the craziest year I've been involved with in my 25 plus year career in the RV industry. I lived through the recession of 08, wars, 9/11, and this one, we started the year very strong and great shows, great traffic. Everything was set up to be a very good year for all of us. And then, in February, you started to hear rumblings of something called Corona. And then, I believe it was March 24th that we got shut down in Indiana, and, the world hit pause. And, for 6 to 8 weeks, depending on our factory, everything was just stopped, and we were trying to figure out how we got back to business. And I think slowly but surely, as dealers started to open, campgrounds started to open, we could see that there was light at the end of the tunnel. And then when it took off, it simply took off. I've never seen that quick of a V-shaped recovery. It's a story I've shared with many people. I thought it was going to be a little longer, and we were prepping for, a little bit longer of a pause. And it's my boss, Peter Orthwein. He predicted it. He said, "Watch, it's going to be a V-shaped recovery, hockey stick, and we'll come roaring back." And I did lose a bet, but right now I think we're all just in a situation that dealers had a great year. Inventories are very low out in the market, and we're all scrambling to simply build enough just to keep our dealers satisfied. So from shutdowns, lockdowns, to fighting the virus in our factories and our homes, it's been a challenging year. But it's something that the RV industry was built for this situation, and I think we're seeing it in the U.S. and the same thing in Europe, where people are really gravitating to the lifestyle, enjoying it, and we feel that it's got stickiness. It's something that people, once they try it, they continue on. You probably lose some, but I don't know that. I think we'll keep a lot more than we lose.
Mike?
Yeah, sure. Bob and Pete certainly have significantly more experience in the RV industry, than I do. However, I've been extremely impressed with the ability of the industry to face a whole different type of adversity than it has in the past. I think we're all intimately aware of the cyclicality historically of the RV industry. But this was a whole different type of adversity that Bob just described, that presented itself last spring and continued throughout the summer. But I think all the investments that all of the stakeholders in the RV industry have made in the last 20 years really position the RV industry to be in the right place at the right time for the V-shaped recovery that happened as consumers flocked to the outdoors in the summer of 2020. And so I think it's been, a weird year of adversity and optimism. I think for me, it emboldens the belief that the recreational vehicle industry just continues to grow in popularity and will continue to do so in the years to come. And I think we'll certainly continue to navigate any other curveballs that are thrown at us here, in the years to come. But a year to remember for sure.
A challenge for you guys, to say the least, steering what, according to my math this morning, is companies that employ a total of more than 40,000 people. That's an amazing number. Pete, your take on this?
Well, it's the same thing as what Bob says. It's been, a little trying, but at the same token, I guess I look at it and say, hey, there's a lot of good that's going to come out of this. I guess specifically when people are much more conscious about being clean, washing their hands and watching how they breathe and make sure that they're wearing their mask. But I guess when I look back a year ago, when you might go to a buffet or something, obviously we aren't going to do that in the future, and so it's been tough in certain areas, but there's some real positives that's coming out of this, such as new people getting into the RV industry. And I totally agree. I think we're going to retain a whole lot of them. And it's going to take us some time to fill these dealers' inventories back up again. And so I think this is going to carry on next year, certainly.
Rick, you were going to say something?
Well, you all three of you have touched on this opportunity that this new buyers, what they represent. No question about it. But they also come with a little bit different set of expectations. I was wondering if you all could address those expectations.
Any of you guys?
For us, you're spot on. As you get into the younger demographic, they're very much, it's that Instagram, Twitter lifestyle that they love to share everything that I don't fully understand. It's people younger than me, but I think our products, we've done a nice job. Everybody has, building in technology and building a product that speaks to that younger buyer. And it's been one of our goals, at Thor, but even through RVIA, just through advertising, just to get people to go to a dealership's, go to their store and go in a unit. And as I've watched some of the younger people go in our units, we have the technology now. We have the one-touch controls when you walk in, and it has the look of a Euro unit in many of the units right now. So I think we were built for this moment, that it's been our goal just to try to get that younger person in and see it. And I think that's why it took off so quick, because once they got in and saw what an RV was, and that it wasn't, what their grandmother had 30 years ago, they kind of got excited. And I've talked to a lot of people, and I've camped this summer and gone out and met a lot of people, and I've seen just younger, more diverse, just a whole different set of customers that, you said it, it is the opportunity for us. And it's going to be something that I've heard Pete and I've heard Mike talk about it. We've all got to be conscious of our quality. We've got to take care of these new customers, or we could lose them. So I think it's an opportunity, but it's what we all do with it right now.
Here again, the fact that we're even having this conversation in December of 2020, after what we've been through, and about this surge of new buyers, it's stunning. As so many people have said so many times, you can't write this stuff. You can't make this up. The fact that if we were sitting here in February, March during a shutdown, and somebody told you guys we'd be talking about a surge of new buyers, you go, yeah, right. but it's amazing. You think we capture this surge? Yeah, you said we would, and Pete, you said we would, but I mean, assuming guys do a good enough job at every level, dealers, et cetera, we capture this surge?
Well, Sherm, I think there's more surge left to come. I think we've certainly captured a lot of it in 2020. But, you know, you're seeing younger consumers, as Bob mentioned, you're seeing new consumers experiment with the lifestyles in ways that isn't yet resulting in probably purchasing a new RV. You know, as we all know on this video call, the platforms like Outdoorsy.com and RV Share and you know, those ways that you can experiment or experience the lifestyle without yet making that investment, you know, have also been at record levels this year. And the campgrounds are obviously extremely full, and the bookings are at record levels going into 2021. So I'm optimistic that, you know, we're at the beginning of a surge where, you know, more and more people are recognizing obviously the benefits of the outdoors, but specifically how recreational vehicles can you know, help them enjoy new experiences with close family and friends. And, you know, no doubt, you know, there'll be some people that fall out and we don't keep in the lifestyle, but I'm actually pretty confident that this is a very net positive development, and we'll see a lot of people, you know, coming into the RV lifestyle here or for the next several years.
Well, it's not only the lifestyle we're talking about here, it's the other people that are buying units and using them besides camping. And I know we had a couple people here trying to qualify exactly how many units that are sold at Forest River that are used for camping or for other purposes such as offices. And that number is pretty large. So it's a whole different area here that we never had before.
And that's to Pete's point. I mean, I think it's hard to quantify right now, but you look at Chicago, New York, you know, the big offices are closed. People they're moving out into, you know, suburbs where they can actually have an RV, or they're you know, traveling in an RV, working out of an RV. There are just so many different stories that I think there's just a long-term benefit. And even, you know, some of the things, you know, Pete mentioned, just cleanliness and people conscious of our customers have always been those customers that, you know, didn't want to go to a hotel because of, you know, who cleaned it. You don't know. But in an RV, it's your bedding, it's your towels, you took care of it, you know that it's clean, and you know that you did it, and you know who was in there. So I think it's just a lot of these things that have happened macro are in the minds of many that it's going to last quite a while. I know Pete loves to go on cruises. I don't think he'll go on a cruise for a while.
I don't think so. So I don't want to get lost in the weeds, excuse me, regarding the hurdles, but let's just generalize that the market, is the industry working its way through some of the hurdles, the supply chain and the, you know, and ergo the inventory situation, and generally service and repair throughout the country. Are we making progress? Some guys tell me we are.
You know, Sherm, on the supply chain, I think the situation continues to improve. I mean, certainly every day or every week we see challenges with, you know, components here or there, but, you know, I think the supply chain is steadily improving here over the last, you know, 30, 60 days. I'm always careful in saying that because, you know, our team on the ground, you know, in the plants is always going to say, well, you know, it's harder today than it was maybe a year ago. But as I know the guys at Thor and Forest River do, we have great partnerships with the supply base and are doing everything we can to, you know, to partner with them to help them attack some of the constraints on their side of the business as well. And so I'm optimistic. I think it's gotten a lot of noise as it probably should have in the last 3-4 months, but at least speaking for Winnebago, we're seeing the supply chain, I think, steadily improve. And I think it'll repair itself back to normal, in the relatively, near future, i.e. probably the first half of 2021. So I'm optimistic, there for sure.
Rick, you have a question usually.
Well, there's the other item that you mentioned, Sherm, was service and repair. Always been an issue, an ongoing issue, and repair event cycle time has been the latest attack on that issue. Your guys' thoughts on how we might continue to address that going forward? Pete?
Well, personally, what we've done is if we have dealers that aren't servicing quite as quick as we think, we sign up independents dealers, and at the same token, they have to qualify for what we say they need to have and do. And so I guess we have quite a few independents that are qualified people to repair. And they do a good job. And if they don't, we part company. And Doug Dieter is in charge of that. And been working for the last 1.5 years on that to make sure that a customer can get serviced. And because we know damn well the reason they bought it is to have fun and enjoy life. And so very important to take care of the customer.
How much of this is managing that customer's expectations, especially with the amount of new buyers coming in?
Well, obviously, I think that the new people understand and starting to understand better that the RV is similar to a house, okay? And so if you build a new house or whether you buy one that's a spec house, you're going to have certain problems. You're going to have a squeaky floor or a window that leaks or something like that. The RV is no different other than it's on wheels, creating even bigger problems. And I think a lot of the new people coming in understand that, and it's not like a car. It's not built by a robot because we can't build it by robots because we don't have enough volume. And so it's hand built. And when we use humans to do that, we're going to have more problems. But just because of the nature of the industry, we aren't going to use robots. Can't, unless we really simplify everything we do. And I don't think that's going to happen.
So we're close to the time limit that, Rick, that you and I put on this. It's around 20 minutes here. But I have another question myself. You go ahead.
You're probably going to have the same question I do, and that's looking ahead to 2021. RVIA just came out with their forecast, just over 500,000 units. That would be nice. It would also be nice to maybe return to a little bit of normalcy and actually get to meet people in person at some trade events and consumer shows and whatnot. Realizing you probably don't have infectious disease medical degrees, what are you thinking for 2021?
With regard to what?
500,000. That's a good number, huh?
Oh, I see. Okay. Is that realistic, you're saying?
For us, I mean, we have our earnings next week, so I can't say too much, but I think we publicly said we agree with RVIA's estimate. I think as everybody, looks at their backlogs and it's going well into next year. And so I think there's probably a lot of confidence from all of us that next year is going to be a very strong year. As Mike said, I mean, there still may be more of a surge of people coming to our industry that it could continue well beyond. Are there going to be shows? Who knows? I mean, it'll be interesting. I think, you know, for us, we'd all love to be back at, you know, open house and see all of our dealers and, you know, have a beer and shake hands and just get back to normal. But as you said, none of us have degrees in the medical field, and you don't know. So you have to react. And that's where I think it's been the strongest thing the industry's done this year. Has been a curveball every day. And all of our companies have just been amazing at navigating in this environment, and you know, without having shows, without having open house, without so many things, and yet being successful. So I think we don't know, but I think everyone, you know, will react to what happens, and you know, we'll see. But you know, I feel the future is bright.
I'd say beyond 2021, I think the message I'm getting is that the next decade, what did you call it with the outdoor world, Rick, when we were talking earlier?
It just seems like the outdoor recreation in general is riding quite the wave of popularity right now. And like you say, Sherm, who knows how long that'll last? Through the decade, maybe.
Yeah, stunning. Okay. And well, I guess I will add this then, because it's not my interview. I mean, I'm the moderator, one of the moderators, but you know, it sure seems like it'd be good to get back to that Louisville show and the party down on whatever the heck street it was, and the bagpipes coming through, and you know, what a phenomenal shift in the world, in you know, that we're experiencing. And so with that, I thank you guys and very much. And before we exit, did you have anything to add? The three of you? That's a no.
No?
All right. All right. Thank you, guys.
It's good to see everybody.
Okay.
Can't wait to see everybody in person.
Gentlemen?
Thanks, guys.
Take care.